Happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday class. I brought out my fancy sparkly Pilates socks today. Very exciting, very exciting. It's definitely the little things lately. Hope you guys are doing all okay. Today's class is going to be about 25 minutes, lots of abs and lots of glutes. I wanted to add quite a bit of glute work today. So yeah, are we ready? I'm ready if you are. So we're going to start lying down today. On our back, knees bent, neutral pelvis, arms at your side. Palms are facing the floor, and I want you to think of opening up through the front of the chest and find again your neutral pelvis. On an exhale, I want you to tilt your pelvis into your imprint. So your lower back presses to the mat. Inhale, release it. So as you're tilting through your pelvis, think of deepening in through your lower abdominals. Glutes are relaxed for this part, okay? Well, plenty of time to squeeze them later. As you're rocking through the pelvis, you'll feel the kind of the front of the hips opening up a little bit. And then going into your full hip roll. So squeezing through the glutes now, rolling nice and slow today, all the way up until you're resting between the shoulder blades. Glutes are still engaged. Inhale, and then exhale, roll it back down, one vertebrae at a time. Take your time today, guys. Really stretch through the spine. Squeezing the glutes, they should stay engaged on the way up and on the way down. And just helping control the roll through. So just really keep them squeezing. One more time. Relaxing through the front of the chest and shoulders. Perfect. And then reaching both arms straight to the ceiling. Hands are lined up with your shoulders, and I want you to imprint and lift the legs into a tabletop. So both knees are bent over the hips. Perfect. All right, so keeping your imprint. Exhale, tap your right foot down, and then switch. 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 Perfect. Keep it going. So you're trying to get a little bit of warm up through the hips. As you tap your foot towards the floor, squeeze your butt of that leg. So if it's a right foot tap, squeeze your right butt. It's harder than it looks. Or harder than you think it would be. Squeeze. A lot of glute work really requires you to consciously squeeze your glutes. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Bring your legs together. Heels together, toes apart, knees open. Perfect. I want you to open the arms out to the side on an inhale. Exhale, lift them back up, press the legs straight, squeeze the heels and thighs. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Just getting a little bit of arm warm up here. So by squeezing the heels together, you should activate the inner thighs, but I also want you to try and squeeze your outer thighs and your butt. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Hug the knees to the chest and roll yourself all the way back up. You're going to swing yourself over onto your hands and knees. Into your kind of like your tabletop position, except for the knees are slightly further back of your hips. Okay, hands are flat, toes are tucked under, legs are together. Draw the shoulders down, pull the abdominals up, and lift the legs up into your plank position, pressing your heels towards the floor. Holding this position for a breath. Next time you exhale, drop one knee towards the floor. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale. Well, nice and controlled, don't drop it down, but you know what I mean, guys. It's Friday, it's Friday. Nice job, keep it going. 2 more. Perfect, press the heels to the floor. Don't let yourself come back up onto your tippy toes again. Awesome. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees down, rounding the spine into your cat stretch, and then sitting to the heels. Perfect. All right, and we're gonna be lying flat on your back. Legs are gonna be shoulder width apart. Hands are gonna be on either side of your head. Elbows are down, head is slightly lifted. So I want you to feel like you're almost pressing the hands down and back, almost smearing your hands down. I want you to squeeze those legs, squeeze the butt muscles. Make sure those shoulders aren't lifted up to the ears. Head and chest is gonna lift. Exhale, bring it down. I want you to keep your legs active on this one, okay? So thighs and glutes are squeezing. Inhale up and down. And up and down. Now hold yourself up. Then I want you to float your legs up so they're just lifted a little bit. And I want you to flutter those legs, okay? But I want them to stay straight and long. Keep your bum squeezing. You're gonna breathe in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. Keeping the head and chest lifted. Fingers or hands smearing along the mat, reaching out through the top of the head. Legs are long. 2 more breaths in and out. 1 more round in and out. Hold those legs still. Lift them a little higher if you can. Lift the chest a little bit higher if you can. And then release. Perfect. All the way back down. Pop yourself up. All right. So we're going to be working through, like I said, lots of glute work. So we're going to start on our side. Bottom arm is straight. Both knees are bent. Hips are stacked. Waist is lifted. That same side lying position you always want to be in. Perfect. We're going to start with our clam. So you're going to exhale, lift up and down. And if you happen to have like a loop band, I should have told you at the beginning, grab it. You can always pause me. Because pretty much most of the side lying stuff, if you have one of those bands, you can make them a little bit more challenging that way. Keeping that waist lifted, right? So your spine is nice and straight. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to do the opposite direction. So the knees stay together, the top foot lifts. Feels a bit weird at first. Yeah, but you're still working that glute. 3, 4, waist is lifted still. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. This is internal hip rotation. Now keep the knees bent, but lift that entire leg up and down for 10, 9. Might be getting a little burn by now, hopefully. If you have a band, you're definitely getting a burn. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let that leg come forward and stretch it out. Perfect. And then before we go on to the other side, you're going to lie on your back, hands behind your head, imprinted and legs in a tabletop. Curl your head and shoulders up. Bend one knee in, extend the other leg straight, and switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, curl it up higher, 4, 3, 2, then go into a crisscross or oblique. So rotate towards your bent knee for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it down. Sweet. Okay, other side for the glutes. So starting with both knees bent, hips are stacked, bottom of the waist is lifted. Starting with your clam. Exhale up. So you're just trying to keep that top waist from dropping back behind you. So there's only so much range of motion you've got. If you lift the knee too high, you're going to fall backwards, which is what you do not want to do. 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then the internal rotation. So knees together, foot lifts for 10. 8. Try to feel like that's where you're working through. 6, 5. Keeping that waist lifted. 3, 2, 1, and then the entire leg lifts for 10. 7, 6, 5, 4. Almost there. 3, 2, last one, and 1. And then onto your back again, hands behind the head. Curling the head and shoulders up, legs in a tabletop. And I want you to turn your feet out. So we're going to bend one knee in and extend the other leg straight. So the straight leg, the foot's turned out. The bent knee, the foot's turned out. And then switch. So you're actually doing this in external hip rotation. Okay? Squeeze the leg straight, squeeze the glutes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's that on that side of that series. Perfect. Roll yourself up. And then you're going to go back to your original side on the right side here. Okay, so the bottom knee is going to be bent in front. Kind of get out of the way. Top leg is straight, so you've got a little bit extra lift. Waist is up, foot is flexed. You're going to keep the abdominals working. Exhale, lift that leg up and down to start. Perfect. So you're still using that side of the glute. We're going to do a set of 10, 6, 7, keeping the foot flexed, 8, 9, 10. Now point your foot, keeping the waist still lifted, lift the leg up about hip height. We're going to do leg circles. So you're going to start to reach the leg in front, up, and back. So you're drawing a circle. 2. Trying to keep that waist lifted, those hips stacked, and the upper body fairly quiet. Switch directions for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. Don't drop the leg yet, so it's still hip height. Should be lined up with the rest of the body. Flex the foot again. Inhale, kick, exhale, point and sweep for 10. Nice, squeeze the glute as that leg reaches behind you. So reach. 6, 7, almost there. Should hopefully get a little burn on the side of that leg. 2 more. Last one. Perfect, and release it down. All right, we're gonna go right into the other side on that one. Okay, so bottom knee's bent is out of the way, so that foot is out of the way. Okay, top leg is straight, foot is flexed, waist is up, lifting and lowering the leg for 10, 2, 6. Just wanting to, when you're lifting, you don't want to collapse into the waist every time, right? You're trying to maintain that straight spine. Now point your foot, lift your leg hip height, reach the leg forward, up and back, 5 each direction. Trying to think of your butt muscles squeezing as your leg reaches behind you. 4, 5, switch the direction. 1, and again, you're just trying to maintain this nice straight spine, not a lot of movement in the upper body, isolating it all to the hip. Okay, now don't drop the leg down. Flex the foot again. Keep the waist up. Inhale, kick, exhale, sweep for 10. Trying to keep, again, the abdominals engaged. The butt muscle starts to squeeze as your leg sweeps back. 6, 7, almost there. 8, I feel your pain. 9, one more. 10. Oh, great. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Cool. All right, we're going to go into a little bit of an ab series with the rollbacks. Okay, and bringing in a little bit of movement that you might find familiar from Reformer, if you've been doing any Reformer classes before all this started. So legs are straight, flex the feet, reach the arms in front, pretend you're grabbing your straps, pull them towards your chest. Okay, sit up nice and tall, take a deep breath. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, roll halfway back. So you're balanced just behind your sit bones. You should feel like your pubic bone is really lifting to the ceiling. Exhale, rotate to one side. Imagine you're opening the arms up. Inhale, come back to the middle. Same side. Exhale, rotate, open. And close. Last time. It's good to imagine we're on the reformer. Other side. Exhale, open. And close. Come back to the center. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold over the hips. Once you're on top of your sit bones, I want you to reach your hands to the feet and stretch. Perfect. And then re-stack it up. Nice and tall. This time, exhale, tuck and roll. Take a breath in. Then you're going to exhale, rotate, open the arms. Close them to the middle for 3, 2, 1. 3 on the other side. Rotate. 1, 2, 3. Come to the middle. Take an inhale again. Exhale, fold over the hips. Reaching to the feet, stretching it out. Awesome. Now reach the arms straight out in front of you. Feet are flexed, sitting up tall. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, roll halfway back and hold it. Perfect. Now I want you to exhale, rotate, open one arm up. Inhale, come to the middle and do the other side. Rotate. So the one arm doesn't move, but the other one does. Like you're opening them up. One more on each side. Reach the arms forward, take an inhale. Exhale, scoop forward again, reaching to the feet, holding onto the legs, and stretching it out. Fantastic. And then bring it all the way up. Cool. Knees are bent, feet and knees are together, hands behind the thighs. I want you to tuck and roll yourself just off your sit bones, elbows pointing out to the side. Perfect. Lift one leg up and then the other. So the legs are going to stay together. Cool. Now I want you to really think of tucking the tailbone under, pulling those abs in. You can look down towards your thighs for rolling like a ball. So as you roll back, exhale. Inhale, roll forward, balancing just behind the sit bones. And you're trying to roll through the spine. I don't know if you can hear my mat squeaking. Last time. Perfect, and then release it up. If you're watching me, you'll see that I kind of clunk a little bit down, and that's just the mobility in my back. I'm working on it. But it's a tough exercise. You have to roll through each section of your spine, rolling back and rolling forward. It's a great way to loosen up your back if you do find it's quite tight, and it's kind of fun too. Back to the butt. Lying on your back. Knees are bent, hip distance apart, arms at your side. Neutral pelvis. I want you to squeeze both butt cheeks, lift the hips up. Perfect. And then take your right leg extended up. Keep your hips lifted. Flex your right foot, lower your right leg down till it's beside your left thigh. Point your foot, sweep it up. We're going to do that set of 8 starting now. So you reach and up. 3, 4. Keep those hips lifted. 7, 8. Now bring that foot down. Switch legs. Keep the hips up. Flex and lower. Point and lift for 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot down. Lower the spine down. Arms are going to reach out to your side. Palms facing the floor. You're going to try to stay neutral, and I want you to bring your legs into a tabletop. Okay, so knees are squeezing together. Feel the activation in your inner thighs. Close your rib cage. So think of your abdominals between the bottom of your ribs and your hips, squeezing in. Perfect. You're going to, on an inhale, lower both legs to one side. On an exhale, roll the legs back up. Going to the other side. This is our spine twist. I'm going to give you a more challenging option if you choose to take it the next set. So if you want to make it harder, your legs will lower. Then extend them straight, squeeze the thighs, and roll the legs back up. You should still be neutral at the top. Bend the knees. So you lower the legs, squeeze those legs, and roll them back up. The tendency will be to tuck your pelvis or go into an imprint. So really think abs, squeeze, thighs, really have to work to straighten those legs. So think leg muscles to straighten the legs. And lots of abs to stabilize you as you straighten your legs. So squeeze the abs. And you don't have to do the straight leg one. You can stick with the knees bend. Nothing wrong with that. It's difficult enough as it is. These are great for your spinal mobility. One more on each side. Just take your time. Perfect. When you're done, just hug the knees into the chest for a second. And then we're going to bring our legs back down onto the mat into our shoulder bridge position. We're going to start with the right knee bent over a hip, neutral pelvis. And I want you, if you need to, especially if your hamstrings cramp, you can lift the front of your left foot off. So you're digging your heel into the mat. It's whatever works for you. You're going to lift both hips up so they're level. Now lower a couple inches and lift up. Lower and lift for 10. 2, 3, 4. Squeeze the glute, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9. Last one, really press it up. 10. Hold it up and bring the foot down. Okay, really kind of organize yourself so you're supporting now on the opposite leg. Knee is up. Lower lift for 10. 9. Really squeeze through that glute. If it's a little more difficult on one side to press up, usually you're just a little bit tighter in the hip on that side. 3 more. Last time, hold yourself up still. Hold it, bring the foot down. So now you're in your full bridge position. If you need a break, take it. Otherwise, stay up here with me. Relax your right butt cheek, but keep your left one squeezing. And then crunch up that right one again. Relax the left. Squeeze it back up. So you're letting the one hip bone drop a little bit, right? So release and up. And again, think of it as all through kind of the hips, right? Focus on the butt. The butt is squeezing every time you lift up. Sometimes just squeezing your glute is a difficult thing. Now I want everyone to squeeze both butt cheeks as hard as they can. Make sure your ribs aren't popped up to the ceiling, okay? So really think solid abdominals, ribs are heavy. Your butt is still squeezing. Squeeze it as hard as you can. Now keep squeezing. Lift up a little higher if you can, through the hips. Keep squeezing, lift a little more if you can. All right, so not arching your back, you're just pressing through the hips. Keep squeezing, I'm hoping it's burning by now. And then bring it all the way down. Perfect. Bring your ankle up on your thigh. Pull the legs towards you for just a nice stretch here. And then we're going to switch sides. Okay. All right, hugging the knees in. We're going to come back up. Still working on the glutes. We're getting there, we're almost done. This one's not gonna look like you're doing much, but you are. So you're gonna be lying on your stomach with your hands under your forehead. Your heels are up, okay? So hopefully you can see this all. Your knees are open just a little wider than your hips, so they shouldn't be really off your mat. They should be on the mat still. Heels together, toes apart. So your legs are almost like a diamond. So knees are apart, heels together, toes apart. Now in this position, your forehead is going to be resting on your hands, okay? And I want you to gently press your pubic bone towards the mat, okay? So the idea with this is there's actually going to be no movement except for the squeezing of your glutes. So on an exhale, you're just going to squeeze your heels together And just imagine there's like a diamond between your butt bones and you're squeezing it, and then you're gonna relax. But your pubic bone is still pressing towards the floor. The idea is, and I'll demonstrate it, I don't want you to squeeze and move your pelvis. You should be stable through your pelvis and spine while you squeeze. So if you think the pubic bone stays pressing and almost your abdominals are squeezing and lifting from the floor, your thighs don't lift up either, right? It's just this isolated squeeze in the heels and which helps to activate the squeeze in your glute. That's why I like the analogy of a really big diamond between your butt bone and you're trying to squeeze that. Just relax your shoulders if they've started to hike up. They tend to do that. It's very straightforward, like I said. It doesn't look like you're doing much, but as long as you're feeling your butt, I think you're doing a good job. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. And then bring yourself back up, and you're going to go all the way up onto your knees. So we're going to do our kind of hinge back for the legs, but your glutes really do have to work for this one. So I'm just going to move my mat back a bit here. So you're going to start on the knees, under the hips, arms out in front, and I want you to do a bit of a kind of a pelvic tilt. So your butt muscles are squeezing, your abdominals are squeezing. Keep that feeling of the squeeze as you exhale to hinge back. So your glute should be squeezing. How many times can I say squeeze today? And then reach it back up. Nice, exhale. So the movement's coming from your thighs and your knees, right? So you should feel your quads. It's not a back arch, okay? So you're not leaning backwards. You gotta take all the weight on those thighs and those glutes. Nice. It's one of my favorite ones. Squeeze. And up. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. And then I'm going to need you to stand up. I'll probably be cut out a little bit of the frame, but we're going to do some lunges. So if you have a mat and you're doing them on the mat, they're going to be more unstable. If you're doing them on the floor, they'll be more stable. On the mat, they'll be unstable. So you're going to bring your 1 foot behind. Okay, front knee shouldn't really go very far over the front of the toe. Arms can either be in front or on your waist. You're going to bend both knees to lower yourself down into your lunge, press up. Focus on the front leg. Squeeze the front butt muscle on the way up. So you think of push through the front heel on the way up. Squeeze the front butt on the way up. Hopefully you'll get a little more glute work out of the lunge. We just have to really kind of concentrate. Because we're not using any weight, sometimes it feels a little easy. 5 more to make it 15. But if you can really press through the heel and squeeze the glute, 2, that's 12, 3 more. 1, 2, last one. 3. Perfect. Shake it out and switch sides. All right, same thing, back straight, abdominals engage, lowering and then pressing through the front heel. Just try not to shift your weight forward when you do a lunge. I always tell people, think about your back leg bending first, and that's going to lower you down. Front butt muscle, right? Squeeze it. 8. Aren't lunges great? They're my favorite. 5 more. They're so good for you though. 3 more. 1, 2, last one. 3, perfect. Back down. Last exercise. Legs are going to be straight. We're going to do kind of a roll, we're going to do roll-ups, but at least it's going to give you a good stretch, good ab work to finish you off. So I want you to reach the arms forward, palms facing in, flexing the spine. Okay, head is slightly lifted, it's not dropped down. Take an inhale. Exhale, tuck and roll just off your sit bones. Scoop forward. Exhale, same thing. When you roll back, focus on your ribs sinking down, like you're deepening your abdominals. You're doing like a reverse ab crunch. Makes all the difference. Roll further if you can. So as you're rolling, rib cage is deepening, pubic bone is lifting as you imprint. A little further if you can. And again, it's meant to be mostly abdominals. Feet should stay down. Don't let those legs lift. Roll down as far as you can without resting. Oh, and then roll back up. Do it again. Far down as you can. Don't let those legs lift. Exhale as you come up if you need to. I definitely do. Two more. I promise, just two. Last one. Come on, you can do it. And then roll all the way down. Hug your knees in. Rock the legs a little bit side to side. Roll yourself all the way up. And you are done. That was fantastic. Very fast and furious. I kept it, what was it, 31 minutes. I'm impressed with myself. I hope again that you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Stay home and stay safe, K-Man.